Hello everyone, welcome back to the Clara CFO Group channel. So if you got a PPP loan, one of the things that you're going to have to do when you go and apply for forgiveness is you're going to have to tell the bank how much you want forgiven. And especially if you have a loan under $150,000, that means you're going to use the 3508S form. That means you have to do the calculation for yourself because the only thing they're asking you on your application is how much are you requesting for forgiveness? How much is payroll cost and how much are you requesting for forgiveness? So one of the things that it requires you to do is to calculate the correct loan amount. So you might not be sure exactly what that means. So this video is about that. How do you calculate the correct loan amount? Basically, we're talking about the ratio between payroll and non-payroll cost and really all of the things that you spent the PPP money on. So I wanted to tell you guys about a spreadsheet that I put together, and I put this together specifically for a webinar I did this week for loans under $50,000. And so if that's something that you're interested in, you want help and guidance on getting your PPP loan forgiven and it's under $50,000, you might want to check that out. The link to that is in the description box below. But I wanted to show you guys this Excel spreadsheet. So we're going to dive into it, and what I'm going to show you here is what I showed in the webinar. So it's exactly the same content, just a couple minutes of it, where I go through the spreadsheet and I show you what's included there. So use this as a guide if you're putting together your own calculation worksheet, or you can grab my calculation worksheet. I'm giving it away for free. It does put you on my newsletter list, my email list, if you do download it. But if you don't want to be on my email list, just go ahead and unsubscribe right after you get your download. Doesn't hurt my feelings. I totally get it. I've done it to other people too. So anyway, this is my free gift to you as a faithful watcher of my YouTube videos. I really appreciate it, and I want you guys to have this to make your PPP forgiveness process that much easier. So, all right, well, we'll go ahead and hop into the screen share where I'm talking about this when I was doing the webinar, and I'm going to show you this spreadsheet. And so I hope it's helpful to you. Make sure you grab it, and the link to everything is in the description box below. All right, thanks, guys. So what I'm going to do first is just go through what's in this calculator spreadsheet that I gave you. Mine is a little bit different. All these orange tabs I've added to go through the examples. They're copies of these other tabs. So disregard that for now. But I'm just going to walk through high level what's included in this spreadsheet, and then we'll get into actually using it. So this PPP calculator, this is essentially all those things I just mentioned. So all the eligible payroll costs and all the eligible non-payroll costs are listed here. And then this gives you an amount field, so you can type in exactly how much you spent on these different items. And this will help you calculate the total. So we will fill this out in just a second. And up here, you can type in your PPP loan amount. And if you want to, you can always just right click down here, make a copy. You can go to copy, create a copy. And then if you have two loans, like a PPP one, first draw, second draw, you can just create two tabs here. Okay, and then up here is that little covered period calculator that I told you guys about. So you can type in the date that you got the money. This is the date of disbursement. That's when your covered period starts. And then you have a little drop down of weeks. Now, it doesn't mean you have to use weeks if you don't want to, but since that's the terminology that they are using, I think we just keep with that. So if you change this to 8 weeks, then it will tell you the end of your covered period. And then you can max it out at 24 weeks. And this is the end of the covered period. So that will help you when you go to actually fill out your form too, to make sure you've got the right dates in there and you're not sitting there counting on the calendar. And that's, again, up here on the actual application, you need to put in your covered period. Let's see. So, and then you will put in your PPP loan amount into the 3508S. You will have to put in your total spent on payroll costs. But what I have down here is the two fields, amount of loans spent on payroll costs. This is exactly the wording from the 3508S form, and then the requested loan forgiveness amount. Okay, so once this is all filled in, it will basically calculate this for you. And like I said, we're going to go through a couple examples. We're going to talk about owner's compensation. This is the most complicated piece, and this is where we're going to spend a good amount of time. I've also put in the gross receipts eligibility test. So if you got a PPP loan too, and you want to know, you want to have something just really clear showing that you qualify for gross receipts, you can use this calculator.
You probably have already provided something to your banker if you got a second draw loan, but just in case, you can use this here. I've also included a detailed expense tracker. So this detailed expense tracker will help you track things if you're like, hey, I've got 3 utility bills I want to list out and I want to keep a document, I want to keep them referenced. I would advise you to just actually list everything out one by one and then reference everything in a document. I was a former auditor. I really like some referencing on my documentation. So when you go to actually, if you're trying to say, hey, these are all the things that are eligible costs, this is basically a way for you to track that. And then you can give everything a reference number. And then what I would do is actually change the file name of the PDF or whatever it is, change the file name to match this. So I would name this RO1 for my rent statement or my rent, receipt. And I would file that away in my PPP documentation. Okay. This is just optional, no requirements here to use any of this. It's just more resources for you to document your stuff better. And then I've also put in here, this is example payroll reports. So I did do a video on how to pull your payroll reports and actually looking at the numbers that we're looking for when it comes to running a payroll journal and seeing which wages are eligible for PPP. So this is here for you as well. We look at gross wages, not net pay. That's really, really important. And so I did a couple examples. This is from Augusto payroll report. And this one down here is from Paychex. I was just trying to say, hey, look at this number, not these. For example, Social Security, Medicare, and income taxes, we do not look at. We don't include those for PPP forgiveness. Okay. So, but we do look at gross wages. That's why I included this for you guys.
Okay, I hope that was helpful, everybody. Now, if this video was helpful, I would of course appreciate a thumbs up on the video. I would also appreciate it if you were subscribed to the channel and click the little notification button if you want to know anytime we put out new videos. I am doing pretty much 2 videos every week on this channel, and that's the plan for now. So if you want to hear more from me about business and business finances, this is the place to be. I'd love to have you here. All right, thanks so much. Bye.